Well, as we just heard, an ABC investigation has uncovered allegations of a toxic culture in the New South Wales Police Force, which complainants say is driving officers out of the job. Current and former officers say there's systemic bullying, nepotism and sexism in the force, as well as a dangerous lack of support for officers suffering PTSD. With more, I'm joined by Sydney crime reporter Leah Harris. And Leah, can you take us through in a little bit more detail what these allegations are?
Yeah, so I've now spoken to well over a dozen officers, and we've had quite an influx of many more coming forward since this story went to air yesterday. And they've all told very, very remarkably similar stories about bullying, nepotism and a lack of support for mental health in the ranks. And this all started because I began investigating why there was such a shortfall in police officers here in New South Wales. We have the largest police force, but we also have the highest vacancy rate, which is currently at 12%. And what I found when I was talking to these officers was that they say they left because of this toxic culture. Some told us that the culture was so toxic that it actually made them contemplate suicide. One that we spoke to actually tried to take his own life while he was on the force before recently leaving. And most of the people we spoke to needed to remain anonymous. Some were still in the police force, some had just left, but there is this culture of sort of secrecy in the force, and some are actually prohibited from speaking out when they're on the job. But one who was willing to come forward was former Senior Sergeant Mel Cooper, who has just recently left the police force, and she told me about her experience while working there for 30 years.
If you speak up, the way you're treated afterwards by people that liked the person you've spoke up about is appalling, you know, and you will be belittled and you will be badly spoken about. So toxic. It is still such a boys' club, and it's not what you know, it's who you know. Nepotism is the highest I've ever seen it. I mean, it's terrible. It's jobs for the boys, and they can say it isn't as much as they like, but it is.
So, Leah, these are fairly damning allegations. What has been the response, if any, from New South Wales Police?
We had a statement from New South Wales Police yesterday. They said they don't tolerate bullying and harassment in the workplace. They wouldn't comment on individual cases, but they did say the Commissioner recently announced a dedicated command for the health and wellbeing of officers. It's not clear whether that is already operating or whether that's still being established. We do expect to hear more from the government today, and we will have more on this issue as the days go on.
Leah Harris, thank you. And if you or someone you know is experiencing distress, please contact Lifeline on 13 11 14. And if you need information or support, you can contact Beyond Blue on 1300 22 46 36.